Hello friends, and thanks for choosing to hang out with me today. In today's video, we're piggybacking off of my last video, which was how to build a budget. And in today's video, we're going to talk about sinking fund categories because I feel like everybody has their own version of their sinking funds, and I've had a couple of questions as to how do you choose a sinking fund and what do you think would be good sinking funds to start with. So now this, I don't know why I have this cash out, we're just going to put it here. This is what I choose and how I choose my sinking funds. So first of all, what is a sinking fund? A sinking fund in layman terms is just a place to put money for later. So when you pull the cash out and you put it into your sinking fund, you're putting that money away for a later date. That could be you're pulling that money that could be you're putting that money into that sinking fund because you know you have a goal. Let's say Christmas. You start January, you have a goal of $900. You don't want to have to worry about gifts this year. You want to plan for it, you want to save for it. So you are putting money away every single paycheck for that. Now, that is a sinking fund with a goal. So we have a couple of different types of sinking funds. Sinking funds. Also, my writing is atrocious, so I apologize in advance. Types of sinking funds. 1. Goal orientated. I spelled it wrong. 2. Just basic needs. Goal-orientated, basic needs, and honestly, savings challenges. And you guys are like, what? Or some of you guys are like, duh. But a savings challenge is just a funner sinking fund. That's all it is. Anytime you're taking money out and you're putting it in a different place, that's a sinking fund. So let's talk about types of sinking funds, which we've already done. Let's talk about choosing a sinking fund. So for me personally, I have a few things in my life that I want to make sure that I take care of. One is my son. So I have a sinking fund for Daniel, which is Daniel's son. That is for diapers. That is for bottles. That is for wipes. That is for clothing. That is for snacks. That is for anything that I purchase for that little man. That is his sinking fund. The next one I have is my fur babies. I have 2 animals now. I have Lola, which is a dog, and I have Artemis, which is a cat. They need things like food and treats and medication sometimes. Like my cat Artemis is on a steroid for her feet because they get really itchy. So she's on a steroid. Pepsi, which is my dog who passed away recently, she was diabetic. So we had money in there for insulin and needles and stuff like that. So we're starting off with the things that we need to take care of. My husband has his own money. We do have a savings challenge for him just for fun, but he takes care of his basic needs pretty much on his own. So these are the 2 things that falls under my category of things to take care of. Now, also in that is myself. So I have what I call a main character. I'm a bookish girly, so that's what my sinking fund is called. Main character is just a fund for me that I put money in that I can spend it on whatever the heck I want, with absolutely no judgment. So that is a main character envelope for myself. Now we're going to move into things around me. So my home. I need to buy things for my home. Recently, I need to buy a dishwasher and a dryer, and that's a lot of money up front, and I refuse to put that on my credit card, and I also don't want my husband to just pay for it because he has been paying for a lot of the bigger things in the house, so I'm saving for it. So in my home, specifically, that sinking fund is for those 2 things right now. That narrative will change. Once I have my dishwasher and my dryer, that home envelope will just be for things that I need for the house. Maybe I need paper towel or I need laundry detergent or something like that. That would be what that home sinking fund would change to. Other things around me, my car, which is named Wing Leader. If you're a Fourth Wing fan, you get it. Wing Leader needs oil changes. Wing Leader, gas is not something that I stuff or I save for. I leave that in my bank because that's literally, I can't go anywhere unless I have gas. And I have a son, and he 9 times out of 10 passes out when he's in the car, and I'm not going to pick him out of his car seat to go pay cash. I just leave that in my bank. But Wing Leader needs oil changes. Wing Leader needs new tires. Wing Leaders might need a new windshield, stuff like that. So that is a sinking fund that I have for my car. Let's think about other things for around the house. I'm actually going to visually open up these binders so you guys can see. I should have been doing that from the beginning. So I have a clothing sinking fund that is clothing for myself that I don't really prioritize because I don't really buy myself a lot of clothes. And if I do, they're actually in a different sinking fund. We'll get to that. Content. I am a content creator. I need to buy things like mounts and lights and binders and stuff like that for my content. Not only do I have my YouTube here, I have my Instagram, which is a bookstagram where I do a lot of reviews on books and talk about books. I need to buy books so I can read books. I also have a podcast, and sometimes I need to buy things for the podcast. So content is an envelope that works for me as a content creator. Costco is a sinking fund, and you guys are probably like, Costco? That doesn't make any sense. It does, because Costco is a big purchase. You purchase like big items there. Now, if I'm going to go buy a loaf of bread, that's going to come out of my groceries envelope. But if I'm going to Costco and I'm going to pick up 5 loaves of bread, I would pull that from my Costco envelope. So any money that I actually don't spend in my groceries envelope, which is in my daily wallet, at the end of the week goes in here. And then when we go to our Costco runs, like this one has, I think it's got more than 85. I need to update my trackers, but now I have money in here, so that Costco bill, which is always very high, won't hit so hard. We talked about Danielson. We talked about fur babies. Gifts. I was talking about Christmas at the beginning of this video. Gifts falls under that. I want to be able to save up so that I don't have to spend a large sum of money around that time. Home, we talked about home. That's for my dishwasher and my dryer. Sorry. Main character, we already talked about that. Okay, let's go into, I should have said that at the beginning. There's short-term sinking funds and there's long-term sinking funds. These are short-term. These are sinking funds that I'm probably going to dip into on a monthly basis. So that is something I should have put at the beginning. But short-term versus long-term. Let's talk long-term sinking funds. I'm actually going to add this here. Short versus long. Something that is a very long-term sinking fund is my book bus. And that is literally just a bus that I would like to buy and convert into a bookstore. And that's my retirement plan, is to drive around and sell books. So book bus is a long-term sinking fund. Book Babes is a place where I get a lot of my bookish merch. Her stuff is incredible. So I don't want to just be spending money willy-nilly. I would like to save up for that. And really, it's her Halloween launches that I'm really interested in. So we are saving for that. Rainy Day is a long-term sinking fund because who knows when a rainy day is going to hit, right? This is going to be used for I took a day off. Like today, I took today off. If anybody is watching this video, no, you're not. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. It's been a rough week. I took today off. I'm getting paid for it because I have PTO. But if I didn't want to get paid for it, I could dip into my rainy day fund. Is my rainy day fund going to cover my entire wage and the entire day? No, but it's going to take a little bit of a sting out of when I get my paycheck and it's missing that day. Rainy day could also be, I'm not feeling well, so I ordered in. We got pho or something like that. That could be pulled from here as well. Rainy day is kind of an open-ended sinking fund. It's just, whenever I'm having a rainy day. It's funny that it's actually raining today. Wing leader, that was my car. We did talk about that. Oil changes, tires, windshields, maintenance, detailing. I really need to get my car cleaned. If you have a toddler, you know. Hello Happy Store. This is my store where I sell bookish, not bookish things. Well, I do sell bookish things, but I sell mostly like budgeting things. And I put money in here so that I can buy things for the store because you have to buy inventory. And I have materials that I use. So I put a little sinking fund together for that. Emergency is exactly what it says. Emergency. Something happens. I pop a tire. Would that come out of Wing Leader? Yes, it would. Would it also come out of emergency? Yes, it would. Because I probably wouldn't have enough money in my Wing Leader, so I would use those two envelopes together to pay for that. And that's another thing. You could just pull out of whatever sinking fund that you want if you're pulling money out of it. If it doesn't fully make sense to come out of one, but it makes sense to come out of two, it's your sinking fund. You can do whatever you want with it. Registration is for my car. This is once a year. Long term, I need to have $180 in here by April of next year. So that is another sinking fund that I have. Vacation is pretty self-explanatory. Vacations for me and my family or for my girls' trips that I do once a year. Property tax, like I said, we own the house. So my husband paid for property taxes last year. That was our first year. Now that we know how much it is, which is $3,500, we're saving up for that and I'm paying the property tax this year. I might not be able to pay for the whole thing, but I'm going to be able to take a big chunk out of it. All right, next thing we have is our savings challenges. Like I said before, savings challenges are just fun sinking funds. So we have the Roll the Dice savings challenge, which this money, what will happen is once these savings challenges are completed, they're going to get pulled and rolled into a sinking fund. So when I finish this one, when I reach 105, this is going to get taken out and put into my home envelope because that's a big amount that's going to go towards the dishwasher and the dryer. Same thing with this 200 envelope savings challenge. Once it's filled, you guys can do whatever you want with it. This is going into the home envelope. $200, like I said, that's going to go a long way. Some people take that out and just put it in the bank because they've saved that money, put it into a high interest savings account. That's a really great idea as well. Every month I do a savings challenge that is a theme. This year I'm doing the one from Etsy. Next year I'm going to do my own Wild About Savings challenge that I made. I have a debt envelope in here because monthly I save towards debt. I take it out and I put a payment on a credit card. And then this one I haven't started, but this is one of the ones from my store. So yeah. Oh gosh, I hope that explains. We pretty much just went through my current sinking funds. The goal for a sinking fund is for it to work for you. So I know not everyone's going to have a book bust sinking fund, but everyone's probably going to have a home sinking fund, or maybe they have a pantry sinking fund where they go and they buy things for their pantry that they use throughout the month. Really, it's completely customizable to what you need and what works for you. And I think that's another fun thing about the cash stuffing envelope thing that I do is it's totally moldable. It's completely in your control what your savings funds, what your sinking funds are, what your savings challenges are. All of that stuff is completely controlled by you. So I want to share what works for me, but it might not work for you. And that's okay. You need to build what works. If I say what works for you one more time, I'm going to leave this video. But yeah, I hope that helps. I hope that explains it a little bit. Again, sinking funds, there's a couple of different versions. Goal-orientated, where you have a goal that you want to meet. Basic needs, which is things that you need for your family or your home. Savings challenges, and then short-term versus long-term sinking funds. And you don't even really need to stick to that if you don't want to. You can literally have sinking funds that just work for you. All right, I'm out. That's enough. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and hit subscribe. If you feel like I missed something or you would like more information on something, comment it down below. I am here to answer all of your questions, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.